Okay, so I bought these little lights, and they're pretty cheap. I think they're made by a company called Sunco. I don't have it in front of me right now, but I will post this to the review. Basically, the lights are great. Everything about them is great. They look good. They're very inexpensive compared to other ones. But I did run into a problem, and that is, you can see they don't sit flush to the wall. There's a gap behind them, and there's even a light leak here, you can see, and it happened on several of the lights because I have more installed. But anyway, I figured out what the problem is. So basically, I can do this while we're going. Basically, the problem is I installed these into remodel boxes, which I would guess many people will do. My light just went out. I'm really not sure why that happened, especially since the rest are on. They're all on the same circuit. Unless I just burn out that bulb. Anyway, let's set those off to the side. Grab this. Oh, that light bulb's just loose. Okay. Well, anyway, so the issue is, I'm going to go ahead and do that anyway. We'll take that out of there, because I'm replacing all of these with LED bulbs, which I would recommend you do. The reason mostly is because there's not a lot of light in there right now, but this bracket right here, it has space above it and below it, and the wires can come out and sit right underneath the light bulb, and these incandescent bulbs get hot. So I'll replace them with an LED. It's cool, and it won't even matter if a light were sitting or a wire was sitting on it. It wouldn't matter. Okay, so the problem is this. Let's see if I can get it to zoom over here. Focus. The metal piece of the bracket sits on top of the remodel box tabs. Okay? This is the issue. Okay? We need this to sit between the tabs, not on top of. So, what I do is take a Sharpie and mark where that goes. Okay. You'll also, now it looks like I wasn't centered on that one because it fell down in there, and that happens. So you'll want to center your marks. The other thing that you need to do too is cut off about that much. So past the end of that metal tab, this box should end at that tab, that metal tab. So you're going to cut this much. Oops. I'm going to cut this much off of this tab, or off of those plastic tabs too. So I'll pause, do that, and get right back. By the way, you have to take this out to do this, or you should anyway. Alright, I use my Dremel, and I cut this stuff off. And so you can see about where to cut the box. On my box, lines up where the tabs, basically, right at the end of these screw holes. I cut each of those off, and then I cut in here and here, here and here to widen up this gap so that this bracket will now sit in that hole. Okay. All right, I'll put that on and then come back. Okay, so now you can see that tab, that metal tab for the bracket, is sitting right down in between those two plastic tabs. On both sides, I have it down in there. Okay, and so I'm just going to turn this till it comes on now. And then we'll put our trim on. Now, before I put my trim on, though, since I already had this on there before, you can see that there's parts of this gasket that are mashed down. This gasket helps keep the light sealed in there, sealed from coming out the edges and the sides. So I want to take that and fluff it back up, just kind of massage it back into where it's as high as this rim right here. and then put it back on. All right, all done. So got the faceplate back on there. It's all done. And you can see over here, it's nice and tight to the wall now. It doesn't rock around, and our little light leak is fixed that we had. It's really nice, like it should be. So these cheap little lights do a good job. They just they need a little modification if you use a remodel junction box, or also called an old work junction box. So a few tips before I end this video. One is I would definitely use an LED bulb. One, because they're cooler, obviously, and I mean in temperature, and then obviously less power consumption. But because there's nothing separating the wires in there from the bulb, I think it's a good idea to use a cooler bulb. And then the other thing that I wish I would have done is I would use metal boxes if you can, or at least gray boxes or something like that, because when I'm going up the stairs, I can see into the boxes and it makes that blue kind of jump out at me. You can see the blue of my junction boxes, but it's kind of a minor deal. You have to be just at the right angle to see it. So anyway, I hope that helps somebody.